Yes, hello. This is the first leadership program that I want to just introduce you to anybody who is watching. So just pay attention, listen in. I'll not be showing the video, but I'll just be an audio. So listen in carefully and kindly just take action. Take action. Do what it said in the video. Yes, hello. This is the
Audio.
first
And
leadership program that I
the
want
only best way
to
for you
just
to
introduce you
really,
to
really
anybody who is
grab it
watching.
is to
So just pay attention,
repeat.
listen in.
Use the
I'll
power
not
of repetition
be
over
showing
and
the
over
video,
and
but
over
I'll
and over
just
again.
be
You
an
have to
audio.
repeat it
So
over and over
listen
again.
in carefully and
And the
kindly
best
just
part is
take
just
action.
take action,
Take action.
massive action. Take
Do
massive
what it
action.
said
Okay.
in the video. Yes,
So
hello. This
I'm
is
just
the
gonna let
first
the video play. And as
leadership program that
sorry,
I
it's the
want
only best way
to
for you
just
to
introduce you
really, as
to
you all are
anybody who
listening,
is
grab it
watching.
is to
So just pay attention,
repeat.
listen in.
Use the
I'll
power
not
of
Hey,
repetition
be
this is Kevin
over
showing
Trudeau
and
the
in the
over
video,
and
studio,
but
and
I'll
I'm
over and
very,
just
over
very
be
again. You
an
have to
excited
audio.
repeat
to
it
put
So
together
over
this
and
series
over
of
listen
again.
in
tapes on
carefully and
leadership.
The
kindly
best
just
part is
Now,
just take
the reason I'm
massive
putting
action.
together this
Take
series of
massive
tapes
action.
on
Okay.
leadership may surprise
yes,
some
So
of you
I'm
because
just
a
gonna
lot
let
of
the video play.
individuals
And
say,
as
leadership program that
sorry,
I
it's the
want
only best way
to
for you
just
to
introduce you
really, as
to
you all are
anybody who
listening,
is
grab it.
watching.
Is to
So just pay attention,
repeat.
listen in.
Use the
I'll
power
not
of
hey,
repetition
be
this is Kevin
over
Trudeau
showing
and
in
the
the
video,
over
studio,
and
but
and
over
I'm
I'll
very,
and over
just
very
again.
be
You have
an
to
excited
audio.
repeat
to
it
put together
So
this
over and
series
over
of
again.
listen in
tapes on
carefully. Sorry about that. That was just a technical glitch. So I'm gonna let it run now for you. Okay, there we go.
Hey, this is Kevin Trudeau in the studio, and I'm very, very excited to put together this series of tapes on leadership. Now, the reason I'm putting together this series of tapes on leadership may surprise some of you because a lot of individuals say, I don't want to or I don't need to study leadership because I'm not in a position of leadership. I don't have a large organization. I don't have a lot of people in my organization. I don't have employees or staff members. I don't have a large number of individuals in which I have to lead. Therefore, I don't need to study leadership. Well, let me just define for a moment why you need, in my opinion, to study leadership, even if you're a one-man organization. If you're listening to this tape and you have no staff members, no people in your organization at all, you have no employees, and you do everything by yourself, which is pretty unlikely, but let's assume that that's the case. Why would you need to study leadership? The reason is, now listen and pay attention. The reason is, the most important person that you have to lead is yourself. Think about that. The most important person that you have to lead is yourself. There's a secret, in my opinion, to all success, and that's personal responsibility. Ponder this for a second. You're at a point in your life where, and I know this, you're not where you want to be. Some of you are frustrated. Some of you are angry. Some of you are bitter. Some of you are excited about the future. But if you really were to look at and objectively look at your particular current status and situation, the income you're making, the debts you have, the lifestyle you have, the personal freedom, time freedom that you have, the relationships you have, the happiness factor, your own stress levels, your own peace of mind, your feelings of security, your feelings of total happiness and excitement and motivation, your situation regarding how you feel about yourself. How about your physical body? Are you at the weight that you want to be? Do you have the energy levels physically? Do you look like you want to look when you look at yourself in the mirror physically? If I were to ask you these questions one-on-one, I think most people would say that they are unhappy with many, if not all, of those particular situations in your life. You have not achieved at this moment in time what you want. And some of you are angry because you're looking at the age that you're at and the amount of time that you've been involved in the business or different money-making opportunities or different business opportunities or careers or relationships or whatever. And you kind of think, life has seemed to pass me by. I haven't achieved the goals and dreams I want. And you begin to doubt and wonder if you ever will. The fact is, when you're at that point, every person begins to blame their surroundings. They blame their seniors or superiors. They blame the leaders above them in the organization or the job. They begin to blame the spouse, the kids, the in-laws. You blame the government. You blame the economic conditions. You blame your job, your boss. You begin to blame me. You begin to blame the system, the training, the materials you've been presented. You begin to look outside and start pointing the finger, and you try to justify why you're not at the level in life that you want to be. You start saying the reason is, it ain't me, it's so-and-so, or it's such and such, or that person made a commitment and didn't follow through. I was told this and it didn't happen. So-and-so promised me that. I was expecting such and such. That's why I am not at the level I want to be at. It ain't me. This was changed. That happened. This situation occurred. You begin to look at outside forces as if you are some kind of puppet, like a marionette with strings attached to you, and some puppeteer, when he pulls a string, your hand moves. You begin to feel like you are not in control of your own life and destiny. You begin to feel as if you're at effect to everything else around you. You begin to feel like you're a ship without a rudder that's being blown hither and thither by the wind and the waves. And you don't have any control over where you're going or what the next situation's going to be. You just have to go with it. You don't have the ability to go where you want because of all of these outside influences. Now think about it. I think a lot of you right now are going, Some of you are going, no. Or some of you are saying, well, you don't understand, Kevin. I was promised such and such by so-and-so. Or you don't understand. The person that brought me into this business left or quit, or they didn't help me. Or when I call the office, I can't get through, and this doesn't work, and that's not effective, and this is too expensive, and that's not working, and so-and-so's quitting. And you don't understand, Kevin, that these forces are affecting me. Well, the point is, there are always going to be outside influences in our lives. But here is the bottom line, gang. When you believe and you feel that these forces are stronger than you, that these forces actually have an effect on you, you will never be happy. You will always have stress. You'll never get out of debt. You'll never make your dreams come true. When you believe that you're that puppet on a string that's being controlled, when you believe that you are at effect to your surroundings, that your surroundings control you or have major influences on you, you'll never, ever be happy and get in life the things you want. There's a 10-second miracle. And that 10-second miracle is the moment that you decide to take personal responsibility for everything that happens to you. When you decide that I am at cause over everything around me, When you make the decision and come to the knowingness that you control the outside influence, that you control everything around you, that you have 100% authority over everything in your environment, that you can make anything happen in your life. When you make that decision, everything in your world will change. Because that's the moment that you take personal responsibility. And at that instant in time, you send out an energy that beams from within you, and it changes everything in your surroundings. You become like a magnet for success, and everything will start working to your advantage. At that moment, you have put into motion the things that will make all of your dreams come true. And that's why I want to spend a great deal of time giving you an overview of leadership. Because personal responsibility starts with being a leader to yourself. You have to lead yourself first. You must be a leader, a commander. And the most important person that you command is yourself. You must take control, take charge, and begin to lead yourself. You need to take control and command of your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, your decisions. You must take control over how you respond to everything around you. Zig Ziglar made a great statement. He told me once, Kevin, it's not the situations around you. It's how you respond to those situations around you. And I said, Ziglar, explain that. He says, well, most people react to situations instead of responding to them. When you respond, you're taking control over them. When you react, you're in a defensive posture, and they are taking control over you. Do you understand that? That's why leadership starts with you first. On this series, I'm going to give you an overview on leadership. I'm not going to get into every minute detail. I'm going to start you on the process and give you some very specific steps. And I've chosen a person to be the main example, General George S. Patton Jr. The reason I've chosen General Patton is, many of you know, I'm kind of a military historian. I love reading biographies. And I've studied great commanders in the military throughout history. War has always been an outstanding example where leadership can be quantified in success or failure. There's no middle ground. We're using George S. Patton Jr. because he has been one of the, if not the, most prolific, successful American leaders in history. As a matter of fact, he has been one of the greatest military leaders in history, period, in any army, in any country. And he has written down himself, not my analysis, his own words, what he believes leadership consists of. And we're going to go through these one by one. And I believe that if you listen and hear what I'm saying, and you apply these principles today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, today, you're going to make a dramatic shift in your success potential. Today, you're going to be happier. Today, you're going to start taking personal responsibility for everything in your life. And today, you're going to start moving forward toward victory. Well, what is leadership? How do we define it? Patton said it best: a commander will command. Now think about that. A commander will command. The first thing you have to understand is you are the commander. You are the general for your life. You are in control. You can cause anything to happen in your life. You have been given that command. Now, it's a deceptively simple phrase, but Patton says command, not manage. And he spoke about commanding and taking charge often. See, what does a commander do? He commands. When I was with General Norman Schwarzkopf, he told me that when he was put in charge in the Pentagon of a particular area, his first day on the job, his senior officer came in and said, I'm going to Europe. I'll be gone about a month and a half. And Schwarzkopf said, well, wait a minute. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I don't know anything about all these areas. This is my first day, my first day here. What do I do? And the general told Schwarzkopf, take charge. That's what you do. You take charge. In other words, you are in command. See, Patton said a commander will command. Will. He has no choice. That's what he does. You see, if you don't do it, you're not a commander. You're not in charge. You're now at effect. And knowing that you are the leader of your life, knowing that you can cause everything to happen, is where it starts. And some of you don't yet grasp that you, in fact, do have responsibility for everything that happens in your life. You blame others. Well, let me say it again. Anything and everything that happens to you, you have caused. Everything and anything that happens to you, you has made that occur. You caused it to happen. It's your responsibility. When I was away in prison for 2 years, I met a lot of people. And the sad thing is, very few of them took responsibility for their actions. One of the reasons why my life radically changed is because I learned a great lesson. And that lesson is, I was one of the only people that took full responsibility for my actions. I said, I did wrong. I am responsible for the situation that I'm in. And if I caused myself to be here, I have the ability to cause myself to be anywhere I choose, good or bad. I have the power. You have to know that you have the power. What are the qualities of a great general? If you believe that you're a commander, if you know that you have to and have no choice, you must take command, you must take responsibility for yourself, you must lead yourself first. What are the qualities? Well, let's go back to Patton. Patton says, number one, tactically aggressive. That's the first quality. Tactically aggressive. He loves a fight. Well, see, most of you are wimps and whimper and whine and complain. Let me tell you something. A real man loves the sting of battle. A winner loves a fight. A winner loves a challenge. A winner knows that they will win. They are tactically aggressive. And there's a key word, tactically. That means they are aggressive not to the point of being foolhardy, but they love a fight. It gets the adrenaline going. And many are right now have been beaten and are down and get depressed and lose enthusiasm and lose your excitement and love of a good battle. And life is a battleground. You have to get out there and fight some battles. That's what happens. It isn't smooth sailing until you die. That's fantasy land. This is the real world. This ain't some made-up Hollywood movie. This isn't some theory. It's a lot of BS. I'm talking about this is real life. If you want to be a great general, you need to be aggressive and you need to have that love of a fight. When it happens, don't get depressed. Get excited. When something gets thrown at you, get fired up about it. Because it's going to give you an opportunity to show that you are at cause, which makes the whole momentum cycle happen. Number 2, strength of character. How do you define character? Cavett Roberts said it best. Character is the ability to follow through on a decision long after the excitement and emotion of the moment has passed. See, a great general has strength of character. When they make the decision, they understand that there will be ups and downs. There will be defeats, disappointments, challenges, but that's okay because they have strength of character. They follow through on decisions long after the excitement and emotion of the moment has passed. Ask yourself, if you go back in time, have you exhibited strength of character? Well, let's go back and ask the simple question. Are you at the point in life that you want to be at? Are you happy? Are you financially free? Are you rich? Are you financially independent? Do you have the things in life you want? Do you have the goals and dreams that you're after in your possession? No. No, you don't. And that means there have been some errors in your past. You're going to have to change some things. You're going to have to do some things differently than you have in the past. There are times in life when you have not exhibited strength of character, and that's okay. We don't go back and cry about what we did. We go back and learn from what we did and say, what could I have done differently in that situation that would have changed that situation? And then, fine, knowing that, going forward, I'm going to pay attention. And the next time that I'm at a point where I'm not showing strength of character, I'm going to rise above it and show strength of character. Do you get that? Number 3, steadiness of purpose. It goes and flows with strength of character. It's steadiness. Look that word up in the dictionary, steadiness. What does steadiness mean? And by the way, when I say look it up in the dictionary, I mean look it up in the dictionary. How many of you are going to shut the tape off and look it up in the dictionary? Most of you will say, well, I'll go back and do that later, and you'll never get to it. Ha ha. What you just exhibited is lack of strength of character. Because when I said looking up in the dictionary, you said, yeah, I'm going to do that. Character is following through on a decision long after the excitement of the moment has passed. Do you understand? You need to start with the little things first. Steadiness of purpose. Look up the word purpose. Shut the tape off right now and look up the word steadiness and look up the word purpose. And I want you to come up and verbally say out loud the definition of steadiness of purpose. Shut the tape off and do this right now. Exhibit strength of character right this moment. Start taking responsibility. Start taking charge this very second. And you'll start turning your life around this moment in time. Shut the tape off and do it now. We're back. Some of you just not even shut the tape off. That's okay. I'll go on anyway. Maybe some of this stuff will sink in. 4, acceptance of responsibility. Interesting. General Patton, a cadet at West Point, wrote down in his journal the qualities of a great general, and the 4th one was acceptance of responsibility. Responsibility. I take responsibility for everything that happens in my life, good or bad. I'm not blaming anybody else. I'm not blaming the circumstances. I'm not blaming the business, the economic environment, the tools, the tapes, the seminars, the books. I'm not blaming the people that brought me into the business. I'm not blaming the teachers. I'm not blaming leaders that I follow. I'm not blaming the products, the marketing strategies, the techniques. I'm not blaming anything for my success or failure. I am taking responsibility. Number 5, energy. Energy. Energy can be defined many, many ways. Motivation, physical energy, strength. Patton talks a lot about physical activity, and he talks a lot about exercise, where his commanders must physically exercise their bodies, because he knows that by having personal power, if you feel good in your body, if your body feels dynamic and full of health and life and vitality, you're going to be better off. But he reverses it. He actually talks about later on that the body should never dictate the mind. The mind controls the body. So energy starts with a thinking process first. But you need to have physical energy, which means you should be eating right, which means you should be taking food supplements, vitamins, minerals, and so forth, and we have great ones in our product line. You should be physically exercising, and I don't care if it's going for a walk, move your body. Get some energy. Get a massage. Do something with your body so you can increase your energy and vitality. One of the things that I've done recently that has dramatically increased my physical energy is I stop eating after 6 p.m. I have a nice breakfast. I have a nice lunch. Sometimes I eat at 3 or 4 in the afternoon too, a little snack. Maybe something light at 5 or 5:30. But I'm done eating. By 6 o'clock, I am through eating. I don't eat for the rest of the night. Drink a lot of water during the day. I drink some coffee, but nothing else, no sodas. I drink water, some coffee. And in the next cup, I am full of energy. I'm waking up before my alarm clock goes off, and I feel physically great. And it's had a very powerful effect on me. And number 6, good health, which goes along with energy. Good commander will have good health. Those are the qualities of a good leader. The next axiom that Patton uses: always lead from the front. Now let me read Patton's words. Young lieutenants have to realize that your platoon is like a piece of spaghetti. You can't push it. You've got to get out in front and pull it. You see, a leader leads from the front, not from behind. You as a leader must take the risks, the same ones that you ask other people to take. You have to set the example for others to follow.
There's a beautiful poem, and I'll just give you the first line to it. It says, "I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day." See, a leader is out in front of the pack. You're doing it. You're showing what it takes. That's what leadership is. Dominate, but never domineer. Now, it's very interesting because the words seem similar. What I would recommend you do, as a matter of fact, I'm not going to recommend. I'm going to tell you to do it. I'm going to tell you to do it. Shut the tape off, get a dictionary, and look up the word dominate. Then look up the word domineer. So these two words, you must have a clear definition. Read the definitions, then repeat out loud, dominate means blank, and then say domineer means blank. And then come back to the tape. Okay, Patton's commands here was dominate but never domineer. In dominating, Patton did not domineer. He always led his men. He didn't rule them. And there's a big difference. There's a delicate balance between pushing and guiding. A genuine leader leads. He mentors. He guides. He sets examples. He mediates. He makes decisions. But whatever else he does, a real leader does not merely command. He actually does. He's not just barking orders. He's actually doing. out in front. If you're going to lead yourself and later hopefully lead an organization, you must be that type of person that dominates but doesn't domineer. Not a dictator, a leader, and there is a difference. The most important task of every commander, and I'm going to read Patton's words directly because this is very, very significant. It doesn't make any difference what the rank is for promotion. Could be for a colonel or a corporal. Picking the right leader is the most important task of every commander. When I have a promotion to make, I line up all of the candidates and give them a problem I want them to solve. I say, men, I want a trench dug behind the warehouse. Make this trench 8 feet long, 3 feet wide, and 6 inches deep. That's all I tell them. I use some warehouse that has a window or a large knothole in it. And while the candidates are checking out the tools they want to use, I get inside the building and watch through the window. After resting for several minutes, they will start talking. They'll start asking about why I want such a trench built in such a way. They will argue that 6 inches is not deep enough for a gun emplacement. Others will argue that such a trench should be dug with power equipment. Others will say it's too hot or too cold to dig. The hard's too heavy. If the men are officers, there will be some complaints that they should not be doing such a lowly labor as digging a trench. Finally, one man will give an order to the others. Look, let's get this trench dug and get the hell out of here. Doesn't make any difference what that old SOB wants to do with this trench anyway. Let's just get it done. That's the man who gets the promotion. Never pick a man because he slobbers over you all the time with kind words. Too many commanders pick dummies to serve on their staff. Such dummies don't know how to do anything except say, "Yes, sir." Such men are not leaders. Any man who picks a dummy cannot be a leader. Pick the man that can get the job done. Now think about it. One guy had an order and just did it. No ifs, ands, or buts. They just got it done. They weren't thinking about it. They weren't talking about it. True successful people in life are too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. So I want you to be that guy. First and foremost, I want you to be that guy who just gets it done and gets it done now. That is a major attribute of a leader. If you're going to do something, do it and get it done now. Not tomorrow, not the next day. Leaders get it done now. An effective leader in any organization not only knows how to delegate tasks, but knows how to delegate leadership as well. See, the primary criteria for a leader should meet it's the ability to get the job done, whatever it is. Action. Results. You got to cut to the chase a lot of times and just get things accomplished. Stop monkeying around and do it now. That's the way you become a leader. And when you're in the process of dealing with other people, that's a quality you want to instill in them. They'll watch you, they'll see you, they'll learn and duplicate. And teach them that lesson. First, teach yourself that lesson. Selecting leaders. Patton says, select leaders for accomplishment and not for affection. Very important. Very similar to what we were just talking about. But you don't want to confuse loyalty with friendship. See, in any enterprise, loyalty must be based on achievement. It's actual results. See, you can certainly like somebody, but maybe they're just not very good at the job that they're doing, and that's fine. But don't let your affection toward them influence your choice in leadership. You need to evaluate achievement, results, what they've done, accomplishment. Start with yourself first. Do things and accomplish things. Then you'll be a person. You'll start becoming a person that will make things happen in your life, and you'll start becoming the person that people will respect and want to follow. You see, in all businesses, all leaders are followed. And if you really want to achieve personal success in your life and in this business, you need to start becoming that individual that people are attracted to and are drawn to and will follow. That's how you grow your business, and that's how you grow your own personal self-confidence and self-esteem. And that's how you start making more money. Let's continue with Patton's principles on leadership on the next tape.